go anywhere.
Being in a bald eagle nest is surreal. This is a wild animal.
She's being rowdy.
It's very capable of hurting you if you're not careful, so you have to take your time.
A little rough, huh? Sorry about that.
It's an experience that's hard to describe. My name is Jim Campbell Spickler, and I'm a forest canopy ecologist and a wildlife biologist. And I'm pretty sure I have the best job in the world. My job is to climb into the eagle's nest and capture and work with chicks.
Yeah, he's a monster.
And the reason why we're doing this is we're trying to get blood samples. And we can use those blood samples to look at environmental contaminants and how they get into the bald eagle's food source.
Gonna make me chase you, huh? Why don't you come off there? Come down.
It's a challenging species to work with. It's got a really sharp hooked beak, and its talons are big and powerful, and you don't want to let them grab a hold of you because they can really do some damage.
All right, let's go down.
This is a wild animal, so you never know what can happen. The Channel Islands are an island chain off the coast of Southern California.
These guys don't look too bad.
They're a desert island system. You get out there and you can stand on top of these bluffs and you can see the Pacific, a whole 360-degree view of just the most beautiful ocean you can ever imagine. You've got not only bald eagles, you have peregrine falcons that are nesting on the sea cliffs.
Just tell me if she's coming in.
You've got a host of different seabirds, and it's just a magical place. Our research, it may look invasive, but really, one of our primary concerns is the safety of these young birds that we're handling. So we go to great lengths to ensure that we don't injure them, and that when we put them back in the nest, they're just as well off as when we first encountered them.
I like you.
The bald eagle is our national bird, so it's quite an honor for me to get to work with this species. Quite often I'll just sit in that nest for a moment and just take in the view and just think, wow, you know, it's just an honor to get up there, be able to share that view and that experience with them just for that moment in time.
This is Bomani, a martial eagle. The largest African eagle, they have enough power in one foot to break a human arm. As powerful as they are, their strength in numbers continues to decrease in the wild. Martial eagles weigh in at around 14 pounds, with a wingspan up to 8.5 feet. Bomani is native to sub-Saharan Africa, preferring open woods, wooded savanna, and thornbush habitats. He is an apex predator, sitting at the top of the avian food chain. Unfortunately, they are being persecuted by humans, mistakenly believed to be a predatory threat to livestock. In reality, domestic animals make up a very small percentage of their diet. Add to that a shrinking habitat, which reduces prey. The martial eagle population is dwindling fast. This is the martial eagle. This is the northern bald eagle, an iconic bird that we almost lost for good only a few decades ago. Northern bald eagles are the larger of the two subspecies of the bald eagle. Their wingspan can reach over 7 feet. They are powerful flyers that soar through the air, reaching over 40 miles per hour when gliding. They're excellent predators, attacking from above with their long and sharp talons. By the 1960s, their population was decimated, with less than 1,000 left in the wild. Chemicals from pesticides travelled up the food chain, rendering these top predators sterile or unable to lay healthy eggs. Thankfully, after massive regulations were put in place, they have made a near full recovery. Today, loss of suitable habitat is still a threat, as they are very sensitive to human activity. This is the northern bald eagle.
If you go into the water and you see a great white shark, what's your reaction? You're not going to think twice. You're hauling ass to get out of there. Falcons are the great white shark of the sky, and birds are terrified of them. My name is Mark Adam. I am the president of Falcon Environmental Services. Our company uses the world's oldest sport, falconry, to protect planes in flight. Birds can be really dangerous to airplanes. If a gull strikes an engine, it can potentially stop it, in which case the aircraft can come out of the sky. There are multiple methods that airports can use to control birds. Sirens, another very common one is pyrotechnics. Birds are not dumb. They get used to that stuff. But one thing that they can never get used to is the instinctive fear of a falcon. Here we raise falcons, and when they hatch out, we rear them for 3 or 4 days and put them back with the parents. The skills that we use to train our raptors date back to 3000 BC when falconry was first introduced, utilizing hoods, jesses, and conditioning methods. The birds are trained for about 30 to 60 days, where then they go out to our airport operations. On a given day, they are requested numerous times by the control tower to intervene at specific spots on the airfield, at which time the falcon is deployed and it is allowed to fly around the airport until the birds have been dispersed. When the falconer wants the falcon to come back, all he has to do is take out the lure, which has a piece of food on it, swing it around his head, and the falcon will come in order to be fed. I enjoy bird watching, but I find falconry almost like a chance to see something that happens every day in the wild, but I get a chance to see it up close every day.
Eagle feathers give us that strength and courage to go on. They've been in our ceremonies for centuries. And to be able to have these feathers in our time of prayer, in our time of need, is really important to us.
We're at the National Eagle Repository. Last year we received right at 2,700 eagles that were found dead or died for one reason or another, and we provide loose feathers from eagles to Native Americans for their religious and cultural purposes. They are protected by various laws such as the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act, so people can't just go picking them up. But this way it allows Native Americans a lawful way to obtain and possess eagles. The birds that we get have died from various causes. They often collide with something. It causes them to break a wing and of course results in death. But usually those injuries are pretty minor to the feathers, so we could still use most of the feathers. So we're checking what needs to be replaced there or what feathers need to be added in an effort to try to give them the equivalent of one whole bird.
The role of the National Eagle Repository, it's very important. It helps us to keep going with our lives that we know it.
It's good to know that you're a part of something that means so much to a group of people, and that you're playing a role in protecting a very treasured resource.